Hey guys, I'm Deepthi Desikan, and in this video we're going to be talking about some affordable concealers, very popular affordable concealers, and I'm going to be rating them from worst to best. So I'm going to be covering aspects such as coverage, blendability, longevity, shade range, value for money. So yeah, before we get started, you can shop all of these products during the Amazon Prime Day sale that runs all the way from 12th to 14th of July. You can get 50 to 80% off on 1500 plus top fashion brands, and also same day delivery is available on 4 lakh plus styles. So if you like any of these products and you're looking at shopping them, this would be the ideal time to do that. So I have tried to swatch all of these concealers underneath my eyes just to give you guys an idea of how it looks, the coverage, the blendability and all of that. Of course you can't see really the longevity of these products, but I will be telling you guys the longevity of most of these products because I have tried them out for the longest time, and I'm pretty sure most of you guys already own these concealers too, so you can agree or disagree with me in the comments. And also this video is filmed in like HD, not my usual 4K, so there is a downgrade in quality because my laptop is given up on me and I've given it for service. So until that is back, this is the quality we're going to be filming in, and let's get started. So the first one I'm going to be talking about, probably the worst concealer out of this lot that I have, is this one from Makeup Revolution. This one is the IRL Filter Finish Concealer. I have this one in the shade C10. This is said to be a soft matte concealer, which I do agree. It does have a matte finish, more so a drying cakey finish underneath my eyes. It looks extremely patchy, extremely dry. The shade range is, though a little vast, just not enough. And I mean, I cannot find a shade match for myself in this concealer. I'm usually a 10.5 in Makeup Revolution products. I can also use the shade C12 sometimes. It's a little bit darker, but I'm okay with that. But this is extremely pink and ashy looking underneath my eyes, so it just emphasizes a lot of the darkness and also just cakes up a lot and just looks bad and messy. So this probably would work for people with oily skin, but for me it's just a no. This is a reasonably priced concealer. This was for around 695 rupees, and you can always find this on discount. The price range and everything is really nice. The shade range is also pretty good, but they have skipped a lot of shades again. But just the performance of this is just not for me, so I would give this a 1 out of 5. It's one of the worst concealers in my collection. And next up, something again that doesn't really work out for my skin type. This one is the Milani Conceal and Perfect Long Wear Concealer. You get 9 shades alone in this. I have this one in the shade 140 Pure Beige, and this is a little bit too light for my skin tone. It's a highlighting concealer for me. It is a little bit thicker, it's matte, it's again very cakey underneath the eyes, and it wouldn't work out for anyone with normal to dry under eye area. So if you have very oily skin, like very slippery skin right there, you would really like it because it is something that is a little bit more matte. Also, it has really good coverage, sort of medium to medium high coverage with this concealer. It has good longevity. With all of that, I don't really have a problem with this. It's just the finish of this concealer is something that I don't really like. Very cakey for someone with my skin type. The next one I have is this one from K Beauty. This one is their concealer in the shade 150N. This retails for 849 rupees. You can always find this on discount, and you get 12 shades in this. So shade range is pretty good. They have a pretty decent price range, but this concealer would work for anyone with oily skin and you want sort of like a light medium coverage. It looks like you have something on, but you don't really have any product on. It's something like that. So in my personal experience, I feel like this would work for anyone with oily skin type or someone who lives in very humid climate. If you're someone who lives in like a colder climate or somewhere where your skin tends to get very dry and dehydrated, you would not like this concealer. I know a lot of people disagree with me on this. I know that a lot of people really love this brand, have an affinity towards their products. This concealer is just not for me, okay? It's my personal opinion, and if you have experienced the same thing, you would agree with me on that. Of course, a lot of people have disagreed with me as well. The applicator and everything is really nice, very precise. You can just apply it just a little bit, and the minute you start to blend it, you can see that it will cling on to the dry patches, start to form like those dry circles underneath the eyes, if you know what I mean. Settle onto the lines, emphasize it a lot more, and also start to fade away from the inner corner of your eye just as the minute you are done blending. So I don't find that this is the most long-lasting concealer I own. Sometimes it's the shade, sometimes it's the formula. The shade is a pretty decent match. It's in the shade 150N medium, which looks pretty good underneath my eyes. And again, I would give this like a 2 out of 5 maybe. The next one I have is somewhat similar to the K-Beauty concealer. This one is a Lakme Higher Matte Concealer. This is again for someone with oily skin, straight up. It has light to light medium coverage. That's it. You can't really even build on this one. It has that, you know, hydrating matte finish. It looks like you have some product on, but not really quite there. So it works for your no makeup days. If you want that darkness, you know, that was also a trend at one time where like you let that darkness speak through. Darkness is speaking through, but it's a little bit concealed, little more polished, little more put together. That's how this concealer would look like. Again, nice precise applicator. Nice in terms of blendability, but not great in terms of coverage, not great in terms of longevity, decent in terms of price point, not very vast shades. You have like 8 shades in this, so it depends on your preference if you want to try this out. But if you have the K-Beauty concealer, you don't really have to pick this one up. But yeah, it's not a bad product. And then I have this is the Insight HD concealer. This is in the shade MN18, I think. And now this is a very affordable concealer, but not a lot of shades in this. So that's where you'd probably even have a problem with this. And also this has a similar finish like the K-Beauty concealer itself, maybe a little bit more coverage. Also looks slightly drying underneath my eyes, so I don't really prefer this for my skin type. And the blendability and everything is good. It's also very thick and it starts to sort of dry down in the tube itself, and it's not as liquidy. It's a little bit of a thicker product. With the wand and everything, you just expect a little bit more coverage with this product. Again, I would say it's sort of light medium to medium coverage, slightly better than the K-Beauty and the Lakme concealer, but again, not a very buildable product. And I would just keep it at that, like just apply that one swipe in the inner corner and then blend it out, because if I try to build on this too much, again it gets to look a little bit too cakey. This again, I would give it like a 2 or 2.5 out of 5. Not my favorite product, but the affordability is what probably a lot of people got this one for. The finish, the way it looks and everything, I'm not the biggest fan of this. I haven't reached out for this concealer in a long time. Next up, I have a concealer from PAC, which is their Studio HD concealer. This you get 13 shades, and this retails for 1045 rupees, and you can always find this on a discount. I got this in the shade Sahara. First of all, it's very hard to choose your shade from like the swatches online. Like I can't really make out what my shade would be, but I got the shade Sahara because I thought it would be the closest match to me. I'm not very disappointed with the shade match. It's a little bit yellow, but it can work out really well for my skin. And I feel like, again, it's not a very dewy finish or anything. It's a very light concealer, like a lightweight spreadable concealer that looks pretty matte underneath the eyes, and also stays in place pretty well. Looks very natural, works really well for you if you want it for your no makeup days. Just use this concealer all over your face as well. And it's a pot concealer, so it can work for a lot of people or might not work for a lot of people, because a lot of people find like creamy liquidy concealers a little bit more easier to work around than pot concealer. So it depends on your personal preference. I do, however, like this, and I like the way it looks on my skin. This would work for you if you have normal to sort of combination oily skin type. I'm not sure if you would like this if you have very dry skin, dry under eye area, dry skin all over. The blendability is pretty good. The lasting power is really nice. Coverage again is sort of medium coverage and looks very natural on the skin, and it is a good value for money given that you get 12 grams of product for 1045 rupees, and always you can find this on a discount. This one again, I would rate it like a 3 out of 5. It's a really good concealer. Next up, I have this one. This one is the Derma Color Camouflage Cream Concealer. I'm not sure if you can find this online, but I got this one from the store. This is in the shade DFT, which is a pretty good match for my skin. Now this again is a very heavy duty concealer. It gives you really good coverage but pretty matte finish, and also it is a little bit pricey, but you have varying different price points. This is for 750 rupees, and you get, I think, around 4 grams of product. Little goes a long way. It has good spreadability, good blendability, and good lasting power. This lasts really well underneath my eyes, and it just stays in place. This is a little bit of a heavy duty makeup. That's why you can see a lot of people like working in like media field and all of that picking this one up, because it just stays there and it gives you coverage. You don't really have to use a lot of product, but would look pretty natural as well, and you don't really have to even set this one, and it just looks so good. Okay, it's just can be slightly drying. Just keep that in mind. Like if you don't really want like matte concealers, you wouldn't really ideally like this. This I would give it like a 3.5 out of 5. It's a really good concealer, good shade range, good everything, but it's just the accessibility. Going and getting yourself shade matched would be a task, and also the sales assistants might not be as friendly as you would want them to be. And then something that is for like really affordable price point, this is for like 100 rupees or something. This one is the Insight Concealer. This is in the shade NC5 medium yellow. Now if at all I have to like take away some points from this, is because of the shade range, which is abysmal. Like there is not a lot of shades in this one, but if you can find a shade for yourself, this would be your best bet, because it just lasts so beautifully underneath your eyes, all over your face. It has the most natural soft matte, sort of soft matte satin kind of a finish, and it just stays like that throughout the day. And I have used this all over my face, underneath my eyes. I haven't set this one. If I set it, it just looks a little more cakey because of that very like cream-ish texture of this, a sort of like thicker cream texture. So I don't really like to set this one. It just looks amazing. Okay, blendability is great, coverage is great, lasting power is great, price point is great. Just the shades are not good in this one. I want to give this like a 4 out of 5. Even though there are not a lot of shades, sometimes if it matches me and I really like it, it would obviously become my favorite concealer, right? And then the next one is the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Dark Circle Eraser Concealer. Now this, I have this one in the shade Butterscotch. I have tried out so many different shades in this concealer to finally be able to find my perfect match, which is the shade Butterscotch, which is like my skin tone in a bottle. It has the right undertone, it has a little bit of peach and everything, so it just works out so well to cancel out the darkness and everything. Sometimes this would be really nice and blendable, sometimes it just gets so rigid in the tube, and also this applicator is such a pain, and it's gonna come off. Like I know it's gonna come off because it's really moist, it's wet, it's not dispersing the product evenly. But apart from all of that, I really love it for like everyday usage. It's very light to light medium in terms of coverage, so not a great concealer for coverage purpose as such, but for everyday use, I love it. I don't really have to set it. It's very long wearing. The price point is pretty good. The shade range, they have expanded. They have come up with a lot of different shades again, so that is a good thing. You can always find this on discount. The blendability, I wouldn't say is the best because of the way this product comes out. Sometimes it's a little too matte and too rigid. Sometimes it's really beautiful. It just works out so well. I don't know if it depends on the storage or the weather condition, or just over time this product just gets a little bit too dry. I used to keep this in my everyday makeup bag for that very reason, that it would cancel out the darkness but just look very natural, not too cakey, not too heavy. It would work for all skin types. It's just a beautiful multi-purpose concealer to own. Just the packaging and everything is a little bit of a disappointment, but I love this concealer. I would give this again a 3.5 out of 5. It's one of my favorite concealers. And then we have this one. This is the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer. This is actually a really nice concealer in terms of the shade, in terms of the price point, in terms of the coverage, the blendability and everything. It gives you good medium, light medium to medium coverage, subtle dewy finish underneath the eyes, would work really well for people of dry skin. But the only problem for me with this concealer is it just starts to fade away a little too soon underneath my eyes, and even if I set it, it doesn't really last that long. So in terms of longevity, it's not the best for me, but I like the way it blends, it looks and everything. It's amazing, and even the shade match is a lot better for me. This is in the shade Medium Sand, which matches me pretty well. I like the consistency of this. I like the applicator. I like everything about it minus the longevity of this concealer. So yeah, that's one of the reasons I would probably not include this as one of my favorite concealers. So I would give this like a 2.5 out of 5. But yeah, this is a good concealer if you can see past all of that for people with dry skin. And then the matte counterpart of that concealer is also a really nice one, but it's very drying and it's pretty matte, full coverage. So if you have very dry skin, you would hate this. This is a great dupe for the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer. I have this one in the shade Tan Sand, and even though this is said to be like a darker shade than Medium Sand, this is a little bit too light, and it's a very good highlighting concealer for me. And you can see how it looks underneath the eyes. It doesn't emphasize anything. It just sits beautifully. It blends really well, gives you really good coverage, medium, high coverage, and also has a good lasting power. But this can be slightly drying, so it's not for people with dry skin. Great for people with normal to oily skin, especially if you live in hot, humid climates. The price point is really good. The shades are also really nice in this, so definitely do try this out. I would give this a 3 out of 5. Next up is this Swiss Beauty High On Cover Liquid Concealer. This is in the shade Dusky. I'm not very big fan of when brands just put up like just Dusky and with no further description of this product, because I'm not sure what it is supposed to do, what is the undertone, what is the match, but I just got this in a whiff. The shade looks a little too peachy or yellow looking on my under eye area initially, but once you blend it out, it does look pretty good. I initially didn't like it as much because I thought it was looking a little like it was fading away from my under eye area a little too soon, but of late I have been really liking it. It has very light medium coverage, so not a great concealer in terms of coverage, but it just has a very nice dewy fresh look underneath the eyes. It's also great for using it all over the face, so it looks very natural, very everyday friendly concealer. So if you're someone who's looking at just that, where it has that dewiness, visible dewiness, and it's not something that looks cakey, it doesn't dry out your under eye area, and it also doesn't exaggerate any lines, emphasize any of that, you would really like this. Not the most long lasting concealer I own. It can fade away in just 1 hour post application even if I set it. So this is something that I know it's going to perform like that, and I still use it that way, and it's great to use it all over the face. And again, I would give this like a 3 out of 5. Something that I have been loving and have reached out for a lot is the House of Makeup Zoom In Crease Free Creamy Concealer. They have a pretty decent shade range, not the best. I should have probably got the shade MD, medium deep, because this is a little bit too light for my skin and it's a very thick concealer. So be very sure to use just the lightest amount, blend it out, see how you like it, and then move on to applying more, because just that much gives you medium high coverage. It's like a very coverage oriented product. It is crease free, like the name mentions. It's creamy but crease free, which is like, what? That's how it boggles my mind every single time I use this. I love it for all of that reason. I like that it's affordable, it has pretty decent shade range. Blendability underneath my eyes for this product is great, but I feel like all over my face for some reason it just gets a little bit too rigid, so I use this just as an under eye concealer, and I don't really even have to set it. It's very long wearing, just stays like that, doesn't emphasize anything, doesn't exaggerate anything. I mean, it's sort of thick and creamy, so I'm not sure how many people would like it for that, because the texture of it is like that. And also it cannot, maybe won't work for you if you have very dry under eye area or very slippery under eye area as well. Like, it is like two extremes. I would give this like a 3.5 out of 5. It's a really nice concealer to try out. Something else that is a very popular concealer, but I like the other PAC concealer over this one. This one is the PAC Take Cover Concealer. This is sort of thin in terms of consistency, but it has a very good spreadability, and it has light medium coverage, so it doesn't really mask the darkness for me. If you have sort of not that intense of a dark circle, you would absolutely love it. And it also works for everyday purpose like that, and it's also something that doesn't crease as much, doesn't cake as much, so you would really like this concealer if you don't really have this intense of a dark circle like I do. For me, it's just that, without a color corrector, I should be able to use a certain concealer on a certain day. But for me, with this concealer, I need to use a color corrector and then I'll be good to go. But otherwise, the darkness just peeks through. So for that reason, I would give this a 3. But my, off late, something that I've been really reaching out for and loving is this PAC Spotlight Concealer. And I've been wondering, why did I put this one to rest and didn't use this one so much more, because the shade range of this is really good, price point is really nice, the blendability is amazing, coverage is amazing, lasting power is great. Even though it has sort of like a matte finish, it doesn't look dry underneath my eyes, and it just stays there in place, and I don't really even have to set this one, and I absolutely love this. I would give this like a 4.5 or even a 5 out of 5. This is such a good concealer. And then something with really good coverage, again, this one is the L'Oreal Infallible Full Wear Concealer. This has really good blendability, really good coverage, really good lasting power, and decent shade range. They have expanded the shade range, so I have to actually pick up the next shade up. I think they have a shade 317 or something like that. I think I need to go up a shade, because this is a highlighting shade for my skin tone, and the coverage is amazing. It's like full coverage, and the price point is pretty good, and also you can always find this on really good discount. You get the applicator is really nice. A little goes a long way with this product, and you don't really have to cake up a lot of concealer. Most of this you don't really have to cake up a lot of concealer, but some of them you do, like this PAC Spotlight. Maybe you have to go in on it twice or thrice, but this one is just one swipe, and then just that little dot will give you the most amazing spreadability, blendability, coverage. Amazing. This again gets a 4 out of 5 for me. I would minus that 1 point sometimes because it can be a little bit drying for me, especially during the drier months. Now during the hot humid months, I can easily pull this one off and give it a 5 out of 5, but during the winter months, I don't reach out for this as much. And then another concealer, which is not a lot of people's favorite concealer, but I do tend to like this a lot more. This one is the Inside No Smudge Concealer. Not great in terms of shades, but pretty decent shade range. Very, very affordable. I love the affordability of this. The blendability of this is really good. The coverage it gives is very like light medium, very fresh, very natural looking. And I don't really even have to set this one, and it looks so good. For that reason, I would give this like a 4.5 out of 5 because I love it. I love that it's so accessible but really good performance. I mean, like, it's not the most like dewy looking concealer, not like the Swiss Beauty high coverage concealer or the other concealer I'm going to be talking about in just a bit, but it has sort of like that fresh sort of semi matte, semi dewy finish and light medium to medium coverage. So I really like it. A lot of people have mentioned that they find this to oxidize a lot. I don't find that to be the case. So it depends on your personal like experience, but for me it just works out really well, and that's the reason I have used this a lot. I have recommended this a lot, and I do reach out for this a lot. The next one is like a tie. Okay, both of these are like a 5 out of 5 for me. This one is the NYX Bear With Me Concealer Serum. This you get 9.6 ml of product, and this retails for around $8.99, I believe, $9.99. You can always find this on a really good discount most of the times, like a 30% off. This has a very fresh finish, very dewy finish, but it also has really good medium coverage. It lasts on my under eye area pretty much the entire day. I can use this like a foundation all over my face. I can use this underneath my eyes. It's a multi-purpose product. I can use just one pump of this for my under eye area, one pump for my entire face, and be good to go. So this has a little bit of that, you know, dewy finish. You can see it even through the camera as well. It's very like dry skin friendly in my opinion. I'm not sure if you like this, if you have very oily skin, but I can speak only from my experience. I like it during the winter months particularly. Until and unless I mention that it's a NYX product, this is the price of it. You wouldn't probably guess it just by looking at it like when I apply it. And I really like the shade match of this. This is in the shade Tan, which matches me pretty well. I mean, I like this shade that I picked up, but I wouldn't necessarily call this concealer to have the best shade range. But because this shade match is so spot on for me, and the blendability, the performance and everything has been so good, I have to also rate it from my personal experience. I would give it a 5 out of 5. It is one of the best concealers I own, and it's like my top 3 concealers in my collection itself. And the next one is also something I have talked about so much. Not great in terms of shade range, but the price point of this is amazing. Blendability amazing, coverage amazing, performance amazing. Longevity of this is so good. It's what I have underneath my eyes today. It's not a very matte looking concealer, but it's also not a very dewy concealer. It's somewhere right in between. I don't know how to explain this concealer every single time. This is like my fix me concealer. Like, I have something else underneath my eye. I'm going to be filming a couple of other videos, and I feel like my concealer is starting to fade away a little bit. This is the one I use to touch up as well. And even if you have set your under eyes with powder, it still performs so well, even if you like have to apply it on top of powder. It's just a very nice concealer. It's not something I would call to be a matte concealer and not a dewy concealer, but yeah, it just works, I feel like, for all skin types. Really good coverage, blendability, and I have this one in the shade 05, which matches me pretty well. I should try out the shade 06 maybe. I'm not sure if I even have that, but I have the shade 08, which is a little too dark for me, so I use the shade 05, 04 interchangeably. I'll give this a 5 out of 5 because of my personal experience with it, and I absolutely love it. Sometimes, yeah, the shade range, the shade range could have been so much better. There are so many points that could have been better maybe, but just the performance and my affinity towards these products and the way I reach out for them, they just make it the best products in my collection. So yeah, it's all of this is out of personal experience also. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Let me know your absolute favorite affordable concealer in the comments down below. And if there is another product that I have to try out, or what are your experience with these products, you should let me know in the comments down below. And I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.